Oh yes. I'll give you a bit of backstory. I'm a storyteller. I like telling stories a lot, right?
I'm here to listen.
Yeah. So I'll give you a bit of backstory to how that thread came to be. So at the year I think 2020, that was when I made that tweet, or when this incident actually took place. Remember, it was during the COVID year, right? And we were all confined into our homes. It looked like the world was going to end. It looked like things were changing fast. It looked like we would never see the world the way we knew it again. And for some of us, or let me say for me at the time, I was really scared of what the future held for me, to say, okay, if we can't go to work anymore, what else can what else can we possibly do to survive in this world? I mean, if I'm a business owner and I can't go to open my store, I can't do anything. How will I survive? How will I take care of my family? I was a newly married at the time, right? And I was really apprehensive. And I was just having that conversation with my colleague at the time, and he just told me that he asked me a simple question to say, if they took your job away today, who will you be? That was the question he asked me. Like, if they took that thing that you're doing right now away today, say, if you were to introduce yourself without talking about the job that you do, who will you be? Will what is left enough to take care of you? So he was basically trying to tell me that we are more than the work that we do. Yes, our work tends to define us, but our work, the real work that defines us, is not the work we do 9 to 5. It is the work we do in building um, relationships with people around us. So you can have multiple work that you do, which your 9 to 5 is just one of them. The work you do with family brings you certain kinds of opportunities. The work you do with friends bring you certain kind of opportunities. The work you do in the communities you belong to, your alumni body, your church, your neighborhood, your country, they bring different kinds of opportunities. So if you lose one job, you have not lost your life, right? But if you give your entire life, right, to just your job and you lose it, you feel empty, right? So he was basically telling me that if your brand is just restricted to what is paying you to survive, then you are not yet living. You have not yet built a career. So your career is not necessarily your role in the organization that you work with. Your career is everything that you commit yourself to. You get. And for you to build that to the point, right, where you would get to that point, you need to invest so much in, three key things that I mentioned. He said your most valuable assets that you need to build is the number of people who know you. So you need to find a way to get known for something. It does not mean that everybody must know you for the same thing, but they must know you for something. In your church, they can know you as that tireless, resilient solution provider to any issue. At work, they can know you as the innovator, but they know you for something. They know you for a value that you bring. You get? And then those who like you. So it is important that in the process of you doing this, you don't ride roughshod on people. You don't trample on people on the way to getting known or to success. You need people on your side so that when opportunity comes and you are not there, they think about you and they are happy to introduce you to those opportunities. When your name is being mentioned where you are not there, it is not mentioned in derision. It is not mentioned with anger. It is not mentioned with anything negative. It's mentioned for positive, right? And finally, they should trust you. So your integrity also matters, right? Once you are able to build around these three things, you are already a success. And I took that and I ran with it to say, look, I'm going to try my best to be a man of value anywhere I find myself. I don't have to be the best at everything, but I must be good enough to be trusted, to be known and trusted at what I do wherever I find myself. So at work, I make sure that I go after problem solving. You know me, you know you can trust me to solve a problem for you. Right. Everywhere that I go, I try to at least make myself useful because that is basically how you build a career for yourself, sort of, right? Because what you are known for is what becomes your career, right? And so if you need opportunities, the last time, I don't usually like saying this in public places, but I think I've worked in about 4 or 5 places, companies now. I think I've only ever applied only once, right? Most of the places where I have worked, it has been a function of somebody who has seen me doing something and they trust me enough to recommend me for an opportunity. Do you understand? That is how I'm able to have a career, sort of. So even if I am to leave where I am working now, I just need to show up in other places and new opportunities will come. And that is what you want to call a career. So your career is not defined by your employment status as of now. Your career is the number of opportunities you can take when they show up. And that is a function of the brand, the personal brand, the intentionality you put into building that brand on a daily basis. Back again to consistency.
Yes. Thank you so much for explaining that trend. I want you to
Thank you.
also talk about one part in that trend that I find
Yeah.
fascinating,
Yeah.
and that part is where I think where you spoke about you are now an enterprise, and
Yeah.
the person that you should see yourself as a business offering
Mm-hmm.
value to your employer.
Yeah.
Now, in
Yes.
Nigeria, some people have this mentality that, oh, ogata, they go pay me.
Yeah.
Now, if you see yourself as an enterprise, as a business,
Mm-hmm.
before the end of the month, you definitely start evaluating yourself. I am a
Yes.
business. What value have I provided for this my
And what
employer?
am I getting in return? Yeah.
My employer is going to pay me
Mm-hmm.
my salary at the end of the month, yes, but have
Yeah.
I provided enough value in return as a business?
Yeah.
Because if you see, I really actually resonate with that part a lot because I think many people don't see themselves as a business, an enterprise, like you suggested.
Mm-hmm.
If you're suggesting an enterprise to your startup, to your brand, to your organization that you work with, at the end of the quarter, you evaluate that this business that we are partnering with, are they even providing any value for us? Is it making
Yeah.
sense? If it's not providing value, you
Mm-hmm.
want to terminate. But you yourself, you're
Yeah.
not evaluating yourself as an enterprise.
Absolutely. So yeah, to speak about that, I would try to go from two angles, right? The first thing I like to say about that is there's something I always tell my colleagues at work, the team members I work with, to say, and it's a personal principle for me as well, to say the month where I get my salary a lot and I feel guilty about it, I'm resigning. If you pay me my salary as an employer today and I feel like I have not deserved this salary, I would resign. And so that thought haunts me once it is about 15th of the month, right? Once I think of, okay, it's about 10, 11 days to salary, what have I done this month to make me feel like when this money comes, I can spend it with my full chest? And that is what I tell my team members to say, look, there is only so much your manager can do to keep you accountable. There is only so much the organization can do. You yourself need to have something that owes you accountable personally. So when you get your salary, do you do you feel guilty about it? Now, it's fine. Not everybody will feel guilty about it. I mean, one of my biggest mentors, Basamta, I don't know if you know him. Lanre Adelanwa is very popular as Basamta. He wrote something on LinkedIn, I think yesterday. He said there are employees who live to work and there are employees who work to live, right? The difference between them is one only just wants to do the bare minimum enough till the next payday and get his pay and go. The other really takes his job as value that he is offering to the growth of the organization. It takes his purpose from the job. So it is not the what he is getting from the job is more like the natural reward you get for the value that you give. But the other person just wants to struggle and move, just pay me, let me, you are just I just have this job as a means to survive. It is not, if they tell the guy that don't worry, we'll keep paying you, don't do the job, they will go. But the other person, if you take the job away from them, it's like you are taking a part of their life away, right? So for you to see yourself as an enterprise, it would mean that you move away from that regular employee or that regular person and you consider yourself to be a talent, right? When you are a talent, you will be in top demand. Even the person that currently has you cannot hold on to you too long because they will know that I cannot afford to lose this person. So they want to do everything in their power to keep you because people will want to poach you, people will want to take you away. And that is when you begin to, that happens only when you begin to consider yourself as an enterprise that is set to deliver value and gain value as well. So you look at yourself. You know, there is a current conversation happening on Twitter as of the time of this recording of should social media managers do content marketing, content creation with community management, and I've seen a lot of takes. But one take that I've respected the most is that look, if you are going to grow in anything, you must be willing to expand yourself. You are not expanding yourself because of the role you are playing right now. You're expanding yourself because of the role that you will eventually play. Maybe not at your current organization, but in the next. You get, because you cannot be doing all of that hard work thinking that this is where your life is going to, this is the best you will ever be. So you must think of yourself as an enterprise to say, look, I may be doing a lot of, let me liken it to an organization. Look at Apple, right? Apple is currently selling iPhone 16 right now, right? But they are doing a lot of work for maybe the next iPhone that will come out. Now they are not getting paid for that work, but they are already doing it, isn't it? So that when they finally release it, they can recoup all of that investment that they've made. That is how to see yourself as an enterprise. You must not be satisfied with your current level. And that's what you get when you work in an enterprise. They say if you want to get promoted to the next level, you have to start acting like the next level in your current level. You get. So all of what you're doing now is you expanding yourself, is you thinking ahead, is you bringing value to the table, because for you to be acting the next level, you are bringing more value than is expected of you right now. So you cannot say that I'm not going to bring value, but I expected to be rewarded for value that I've not given. So seeing yourself as an enterprise is being in that constant mindset of saying I need to add more value to myself so that I can gain more value for myself.